Hello everyone, welcome to my video. So, we're gonna be looking at a game from the Daily Chess Championship here. This is round one, and this game's gonna be really fun. We're gonna have a lot of brilliant moves and a really good attack, an interesting opening. So, let's get started. Okay, so I'm white here and my opponent's black. I started out with the move e4, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6. This is all like really common opening. c3 is a move here, knight f6. And then I played d4. d3 is really common. This is the Gyoko pianissimo. And this is a more passive opening than d4. So I opted for d4. He takes d4. And so here I played d4, b4. This is a very interesting gambit. This is not the main line. So there were actually two main lines after e takes d4. The most common one is actually e5. e5. Black has to play d5. So you'll see that if white plays e5, black plays d5 a lot in this types of openings. Bishop b5, knight e4. C takes d4, bishop b6, and knight c3. So you would get this kind of position, a more passive position. And then c takes d4 is also an option. Black goes bishop b4 check. You have to block with bishop d2, takes, and then black plays d5. So these are the two main lines, but I played b4. So b4 was a gambit. It's called the Dubov Gambit because it was invented by a grandmaster called Daniel Dubov. He's a very creative player, and he actually won the Rapid Championship in 2018. He also helped Magnus Carlsen prepare for his World Championship in 2018. So yeah, a really strong player. B4, and yeah, I'll show you what he did in his game. So my opponent played Bishop B6, E5, and then a knight takes E4. So knight takes E4 is actually not the best move. The best move here would be D5. So again, the same thing. If white goes E5, you go D5. So that's a really common theme. Takes, queen E2, bishop B5, uh, B5. I'm not gonna go like too into the lines here, but as you can see, this is absolutely crazy position. If you want to learn more about these lines, I'll include a link down below to a video that I watched. It was a really good video, and they cover a lot of the lines. So anyway, d5 is the main line, but black here played knight takes knight e4. So in the game which Dubov played, he played against Sergei Kajakin, who is another really strong grandmaster. He played for the World Championship. So Kajakin also played knight e4, and so here white has to play bishop d5. So like this is theory, and like you can see how creative this is. So yeah, Dubov did a really good job. Knight takes c3, and here the idea is after knight takes, d takes, white can play bishop g5, and then you have all of your pieces out. Yeah, black's up 2 pawns, but then black has to play knight e7 here, because if you don't play knight e7, and if you play something like f6, then this is not very good. You can't castle, and your king stuck in the center with all of these pieces. See, the computer gives me a 1.4 advantage, so this is not very good for black. So you're forced to play knight e7, and then white just castles here. So castles, d6. So d6 is not a good move, which is this is what my opponent played, but we'll get to that in a second. Uh, Here in the game where Dubov played, and this game is really famous. After h6, bishop h4, he played castles, and then rook e1. So you're really trying to stop d6. Here d6 would be a mistake because of course I just take here. And you don't want black to develop his pieces. So you're stopping d6, queen a8, and then Just bishop b3, planning for more attack, maybe bishop c2 or something. And yeah, eventually Dubov won this game. It was a really good game. He actually sacrificed his queen. So that link's also in the description. I really encourage you guys to check it out. I think you'll like it. And that game is actually what made this gambit really famous. So he played d6. Yeah, if you're wondering, black can also castle. It's pretty much the same line as h6. So castles is also a move, but d6 is not a good move. And so I I played rook e1 here. I don't want to take here. Taking is not the best way to go. So rook e1 is just better. You're keeping the tension and waiting to see what your opponent's gonna do. And here my opponent played a big mistake. D takes e5. So originally my plan here was going to go like something like rook takes e5 and knight takes e5, or maybe like bring the queen in or something. But here there's actually a really brilliant move which wins the game for white. So take a few seconds and see if you can find it yourself. I'll give you a hint. It has to do with stopping black from castling. Okay. So if you guys paused the video and saw that, the move is actually bishop takes f7. So this is not an easy move to see. I was just like analyzing the position and then I saw this. And in chess.com there's an analysis tool, so you can use that. And I was looking at all the lines and they actually worked for me. So I decided to try this out. Like, this is risky because I'm playing a lower rated player, and this ends up not working out. Then I'm just down a bishop. But like, you have to be able to take some risks. And I'm happy that I did this because now this is a really good game. So black has to take, because if here, then you just take the queen. So black is forced to take. And then here, you play knight takes e5. So knight takes e5. Black doesn't have many options here. If king g8 or f8, you just take here, which checkmate. And if king e6, you have a discovered attack on the queen. So knight c6 would be a discovered attack. The rook is attacking on the e file, and yeah, you just win the queen. So the only move here for black is gonna be king e8. And then after king e8, I played queen h5 here. There's also another move that could have worked, and that's queen takes d8. This would probably be a simpler move. So when I was analyzing, I actually saw this. So this is what I saw when I was analyzing bishop takes f7, queen takes d8, king takes d8, and knight f7. So you can see the black knight here is really weak, and all of my pieces are just attacking there. And then yeah, he just loses the knight and the rook, which is, yeah, this is just easily winning. But then I was looking at this position and thought, like, do I really have to do that and like trade into a position? And I traded to an endgame. I know it's winning, but is there any other better move? And then I saw queen h5. So this is actually better than queen takes d8. And yeah, black again doesn't have many options. You can't go king f8 because you're gonna get checkmated. You can't block with the knight because I just take here. And yeah, oh, actually I can take here, but okay. I can take here with check, and then see that rook is checking. Then after they move, I can like take the queen or something. So it doesn't matter. But like the point is you're winning there. Black again has to play g6. So g6. Black's up a bishop now, but I mean we have a really good attack. The rook is in the attack. The bishop, the knight, the queen. So yeah. So what would you play next here? So the best move here is actually knight takes g6, and I mean This is not as hard if you've been doing a lot of chess.com puzzles. This is a really common theme. So knight takes g6, and if you take, then queen takes check, king here, and then rook d1. And then there's no way black is surviving this. We have two rooks in the attack. We're gonna take their queen. So bishop takes f2. This is actually a pretty good move for black because black is gonna get checkmated. So this is a good try. There's another move here that the computer recommends, and that move is bishop g4. So this is interesting. The idea is that you don't have something like this anymore because I take your queen. So what we do here is we take black takes here, and notice how we're not attacking the rook anymore. So that was black's idea, but luckily we have rook takes e7, and yeah, this is winning. Queen takes here, here. So we are only a point up in material, but black's king is so bad that it should be really easy to win this. We'll probably take this pawn and this pawn. We might even win one of the rooks. So yeah, knight takes g6. In the game, my opponent didn't go for bishop g4. He actually went for bishop takes f2 check. And the simplest way to play here is actually king takes f2. So it was really tempting to go king h1 because that looked like a cool move. But this is more confusing. So like now black has this. I mean, I didn't see bishop g4 in the game. That was a good resource that the computer found after the game. But I knew that king h1 was just more riskier when king f2 was just winning. So yeah, don't want to take like too much risks when you're already winning. I know I told you to take more risks, but like this is different because here you're obviously winning, and when you're obviously winning, you don't want to take risks. But in equal position and an unclear position, you want to take more risks. So it depends on the position. So bishop g4, and then yeah, this is just really confusing here. So king f2 is just the simpler track. After king f2, black doesn't have many options here. He can't go rook f8 check because I just take. So black opted for queen d4 check. After queen d4, I went king f1. I didn't want to block with like bishop e3 because that would take the attack. That would let the knight like have some time to breathe. And also rook e3, my rook is pinned to the king, so that's also a problem. So I just went a king f1, and here black doesn't really have any other choice. Black just goes queen d3 check. Okay, so like yeah, now the queen isn't protecting the knight on e7. So if you go something like here, I just take, and that's winning. So queen d3 check. Now king g1, and if you try to check again, I just go king h1. So black saw that, and black went queen takes g6. Yeah, and and now it looks like black actually survived because there's not many pieces left, and black's up a piece. But I can take here, so check. You can't go here because I've discovered checks. Or even you can, yeah, you can just play rook d1, and that's winning too. So after rook d8, let me just show you something. Let me just show you a quote checkmate. Black has to play bishop to d7. Rook takes d7 check. King c8. Rook takes c7 check. King b8. I guess you could go king d8, but that doesn't really change anything because this is you can just go queen d1. So king to b8. Rook takes b7 check. King to c8, and then rook e to c7 mate. Normally there'd be a black rook here, like we've seen this checkmate pattern, but in this case we have the bishop, which is good enough. So in the game, what happened was rook e7, black played king f8, and yeah, it's the same idea here. You just play rook f1 instead of rook d1. Uh, Black Black actually played bishop f5 in the game. Black could go king g8, but then here, uh, you can just play rook e8 check, and your queen is x-ray defending your rook. So if you take here, I just take back, and that's winning. King g7, and then here, you have to go bishop h6. So I this doesn't work, unfortunately, because I thought I would play rook f7, queen here, and then that would be checkmate. So black actually has that. So luckily this didn't happen in the game, because I might have just like given away my win. So oh sorry, yeah. So anyway, the best move here is not rook f7. You're not blundering your rook. You're playing bishop h6, and after bishop h6, now you can take with the king. So queen takes, and notice how this diagonal is free. You can play queen takes f7, queen f7, right? Or actually, I would play rook f7. It doesn't matter. So yeah, that's what would happen if black played king g8. So black played bishop f5, and now yeah, you have a forced mate here. So take a few seconds to figure it out. This is my second brilliant move. So and here the move is actually rook takes f5. So you're sacrificing the rook. Here, if you are wondering, you can also play something like queen takes g6 takes and then g4. This would be fine. But I mean, when you have a forced mate, you don't want to like do this. So rook takes f5 check, and the black's best move would actually just be like here king g8 or something, and then I mean you have enough pieces here to just win. This is really easy. Just play queen h6 takes, and then this is just winning. So here, and then what if queen takes? So before, you weren't able to play queen h6 or anything because takes like that, but now the queen isn't there anymore. So you're deflecting the queen from h6, which is where the queen wants to go. Takes. Yeah, queen h6 check, king g7, and then I ended the game with queen g7 checkmate. Anyway, thank you for watching. That was a really fun game, and I'm glad I got to play it. Glad I got to share it with you. If you guys want to learn more about this gambit, check out the description. I have all the links in there. I also included my blog, which looks at some of the other games I played in this tournament. They weren't as good as this, but I mean, they were still good. I ended up winning my round, so I got 22 out of 22, which means I'll be advancing to round 2. So, yeah, you guys will be looking forward to the next video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.